Okay.
All right, we're live. How are we doing?
Here we are.
Awesome. Here we go.
All right.
What could possibly go wrong?
Wait. Oh.
You just have to hit everything. Okay, so the playoffs are this weekend, right?
Right.
Amazingly.
Sadly.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know how to put this season in perspective because obviously, you know, they're a 46-win team, right? This is good. This is historic, but I can't. Me personally, I can't help but feel a little bit disappointed in you know, how they played over the last, I guess, 3 months now. What do you guys think? How would you what would you grade this season? I guess in a broad term.
I would probably give it a B minus. I gave last year's season a solid B plus. I think. I don't know if I wrote it down anywhere, but that's what I would give last year's season. I just feel like this year it wasn't a step back more than it was just like a plateau. Because I feel like last year they were better than a 44 win team, but just like injuries and Eric Maynor sort of complicated things. So, and I feel like they're pretty much the same this year. And you know, you expected some improvement, but you know, it's unfortunate. But they're still the best record in like 36 years, so that counts for something.
Jake, Kelly.
Yeah. Ladies first.
You can go. Oh wow, I like that. I think for me as a new Wizards fan, obviously, since I'm a Heat fan, but obviously I became a Wizards fan over the past year. I think for me it was just kind of meh, and I don't want to compare that because I've been watching the Heat for years, and I've seen them be brilliant. Just as a new Wizards fan, there was nothing that stuck out to me. I really honestly don't think the only thing that stuck out to me was John Wall's play. That's really the only thing that I thought was amazing about the team. They didn't do anything really exciting. Yeah, so I would give it a B. They didn't do anything exciting. They didn't show me any crazy triple doubles. They didn't dunk on anyone a lot. There wasn't anything that stands out to me that makes me say they're at the top of the Eastern Conference at all. Is that not a smart take?
I mean, I think that was a pretty good take. The only thing is that people are going to be upset with you because of your Heat fandom. But,
I mean, at least I'm loyal to my hometown, LeBron.
There you go.
That's true.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's just from watching. They didn't do anything crazy to me, and I sometimes just forgot about players on the team. Like for the past month, I forgot Paul Pierce was on the team. Granted, he wasn't playing a lot. I just kind of forgot about him.
Yeah.
Like they don't. I
like-
just kind of forget
I feel
about
like
the
this whole
Wizards.
month has basically been a blur for me because I've basically been not paying attention at all.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, they've been okay over this last month, I guess, especially John Wall.
Yeah.
Okay, Jake and Albert, you guys still have to grade. You don't get a pass on this.
Jake, go. You look like you want to say something, but you're not.
Give us the most fiery take you can give us. Come on.
Flame emojis now. Go.
I'm hearing like 8 voices.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy. Technical difficulties, everyone.
This is exactly why this is a test episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
it.
technology's good. Technology's good until it's not. So.
Of course.
Technology's so good to the point to where you can actually talk to the guy who's driving. So, Nick, if you're not gonna say anything, I'll throw in my steps on this pass. If I'm going to give him a grade, it'll be a solid B minus.
Oh.
It's kind of like what Akbar said. Team overall, probably just about as good as it was last year. I think this team took a step back, especially forward, middle not going in or whatever, but the offense got a lot more stagnant this season. Um, I will say that I'll give Randy Whitman for doing this. Over the past 3 seasons, the Wizards have been in the top 10 for defensive efficiency. You probably saw the game thread, the rating, and the 4 factors. And the team, they were one of the best teams creating turnovers. They were not really full defense, but it caused a lot of havoc. Both and
Yeah, I think you're breaking up a little.
Oh, am I breaking up?
A little bit, a little
So,
bit. But I think we get your overall point.
Yeah, so I will say that Randy and Don Newman, they've been able to keep this Wizards team playing at a high defensive level, despite the fact that the way they play defense has changed between last year and this year. So I've noticed that between those 2 years, and stats do back that up. I am a little disappointed that Bradley Beal seems to be getting injured with his right leg issues, whether it's a stress reaction, second year in a row, what have you. I kind of wish that he would be more efficient beyond just taking, spot up 3-point shots. The good news is he has been improving over these last several games, and Marcin Gortat definitely over this month has in Game 5 of the Wizards Picture Series when he scored like 31 points, grabbed 17 rebounds. Ridiculous. A couple months. I don't know if it was last game or before. He has been improving as well. The good news is that this team is right as we get to the postseason.
I hate that tweet.
But is that I'm afraid that we're going to see the same thing we saw in February when they only won 3 games. So that's where I'll leave it at.
Yeah. I agree with you on the Gortat thing especially. I think Gortat's quietly having probably one of his best seasons of his career, even despite the fact that he's been sitting out fourth quarters and all that. I mean, he's been ridiculously efficient this year. He's shooting like the 3rd or 4th highest percentage in the restricted area this year. He's higher than guys like DeAndre Jordan and Tyson Chandler. He's like in that territory right now in terms of as a at the rim threat, and I feel like that sometimes gets overlooked by all the bunnies he seems to miss. But he's just such a great, solid offensive center, and he's improved his defense this year, in my opinion, especially in regards to his rim protection.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. He's obviously been a bit frustrated at times not being able to play in fourth quarters and stuff, but he still had a pretty good overall year.
Jake, are you going to say anything?
I think we can still hear you, so you can still say stuff.
I think Jake's frozen.
Nah, he's moving.
He's moving.
Oh.
He's moving.
No one's
He's
moving.
just staring.
He's just like,
No, he's gazing at Kevin Durant photos. That's what he's doing.
Okay,
Oh my God.
we'll do the.
He's plotting.
Someone say something in the group chat to tell him to say something, because we can still hear him. I think.
Jake, say something.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, like for some reason, like I'm hearing like 8 conversations.
I think you just have like a delay. Like everything's
Yeah,
happening
you
at
might have
once.
a delay.
I can hear the echo. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm here. All right.
All right. Well,
Uh-oh.
I wish you would say something.
Hey, don't judge my life.
Everyone's frozen for me, and everyone just looks real special.
Well, we are special.
I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say. So,
Where do we go from here?
I don't know. I feel like
Did everyone but Jake graded. Everyone but Jake sent a grade. So.
That's the thing. Jake, you didn't grade. I mean,
From
Cop that.
today.
Can you hear?
I, and
Okay.
Jake's doing his spirit fingers.
Okay, great.
Someone's
If
asked where we go from here.
and
The topic with basketball. Uh,
Okay,
just
I think
players these last two games, especially if these games go out of hand. They're going to play Indiana tomorrow. I would like
They
to see the
have
Wizards
to
get
win.
one more win on that in that one. And then finally that game in Cleveland. That's a wash. Go either way.
I just hope the Pacers lose to the Wizards. That's all I have to
Well,
say.
we were hoping that the Heat would beat. I don't know, the Bulls. No, it was the Raptors or something. Look,
No, it was the Bulls. They were up
it
by
was the
19 at
Bulls.
halftime. They were up by
Okay,
19 at halftime, and they lost by 10. I don't want to talk about it.
okay. We won't talk about it because I don't want to talk about it either. But
Yeah.
yeah, that happened.
So at least, hey, at least I can watch my new hometown go into the playoffs and hopefully do something. But who knows? Because Dre
They
has powers.
they won't have home court.
They won't?
Mm,
Yeah,
probably not.
I guess we'll see. For me, I'm just saying that from like what I said earlier, I'm used to watching the Heat play, and obviously the Heat last year are a very different team than they were this year. But I'm used to watching NBA teams be way more rhythmic and way more together and less bickering. And I feel like everything I just saw about the Wizards since even before the All-Star break was no rhythm. No offensive rhythm, no defensive rhythm, no rhythm in the locker room from stories that you would read. And I'm never one to blame a coach. And obviously, watching Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley be the coach of my team has been a blessing. But you can't help but wonder what would happen if the Wizards had a better coaching staff. Just knowing how to utilize people better. But I know we all say that all the time. Slash, I'm just saying that to fill the void.
I
But
kind of think I don't know, maybe I don't know that much about coaching, but I feel like the Ryan Saunders and Sam Cassell losses were kind of significant just because from
yeah,
both a player development standpoint and just like Ryan is like the exact opposite of his dad, which is really interesting in terms of his openness to new innovative stats and everything, and just modern NBA. So
yeah,
I think that kind of stuff. Even last year, the Wizards shot a lot of corner threes, and you could see kind of Ryan's touch on the team. And obviously, Sam Cassell was big for Wall and Beal, and Wall's been fine this year, but I
hmm
feel like he could have been a good motivator for those guys, and he recruited Paul Pierce here.
yeah,
So there's that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like we can complain about the coaching, and trust me, I always want to. It's always convenient, but it's like,
yeah.
who do you replace him with? Like who would be that guy to step in and I guess make them the Warriors of the East?
I mean, I got names, but you're right. It's not just all about the coaching. I do
Yeah,
think the roster is pretty poorly constructed. At least it seems like it's poorly constructed at times, and a lot of that is, a lot of that might be the coach wanting specific kind of players, but we've seen Ernie Grunfeld's track record, and he's not always been able to build a roster um, based on his best player's talent, so that also might be an issue. So it's just like a lot of problems that have surfaced this year, but there's a lot of good things that this year has brought as well. They're not deep, but they're deeper than they have been in years past, and they're more apt to absorb any injury to their big men. So I guess that's nice. Uh,
small
Right.
wins.
That's a plus.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. As I pointed out earlier, Steve Whitman has been able to get this team to play strong defense a variety of different ways. Last year they managed causing turnovers for us, and that was the way the Wizards picked up a lot of points, and other teams honest. This year, they're doing that more of the traditional field goal. That's how they've been positioned on the board. I think I did 1 or so that I wanted to fire. That was when they lost games in a row time.
Yeah.
Way as to whether he should come back here or not. But you just have to, after this season's over, Ted and presumably they're going to have to come back and see if he's the best coach. We did have that which didn't Bill Simmons do that on his site? They're seeking to find their own season. And preview Golden State of mine, Nate Perry, who I've worked with for a number of years on Swish Appeals. I agree with being Mark Jackson of the Wizards and being a Steve Kerr to a. Well, there's the analogy I think still holds. I'm just going to say this: the Wizards hire a new coach next year. It cannot be talking about it. And Ted's track record of doing that with capital hires. Dale Hunter coaching the team with no NHL experience. So I'll just leave it at that.
Where did Akbar go?
I'm here. Don't worry. I'm just moving my computer somewhere more comfortable.
I'm just gazing at myself, if we're being honest.
Oh, wow.
I'm just glad I can hear everyone having a normal conversation now. It's
Yeah,
a lot better.
you look kind of freaked out just now.
You thought we were speaking some ancient alien language or something?
Well, no, it was like you would just start talking, and then like it would repeat, and it was like, you know, hitting all the same talking points is one thing, but you know, I just thought it was a little excessive, and then it's like, wait, this isn't stopping, and I don't know. I'm here, and I think I'm kind of caught up now. So
Jake, are you using
we'll roll
dial-up?
from there. Close to dial-up. It's like they don't have a lot of Winchester. You know, you roll with what you got.
AOL.
And it's,
Just a warning, my roommate may walk in at any time, so just.
Oh my God, I hope he walks in doing something so inappropriate.
Your shirt's
so
awesome.
there's a lot worse things than Wizards broadcasts you could be doing.
Yeah.
Worse.
Well, Jake, you still didn't grade the team, but I'll let this slide.
No.
Okay, just because I did like. Okay, now my grade would be E minus.
Yeah, that was my grade.
I mean, because like
That wasn't even a good
average
grade.
is a C, right? And 500 average, 41 wins were 46. So you're better than average, but barely better than average. And did we improve? Well, did the Wizards improve from last year? A little bit, but that's about what we expected. You know, when you offset Ariza for Pierce, you know, you're kind of taking a minor downgrade and hoping Wall and Beal's improvement offset that, and Wall's did, Beal's didn't. So
Yeah.
E minus.
Yeah.
That's
Real
fair.
talk.
100.
Yeah.
100 emojis.
Wait, Mike, did you do a grade yet?
Yeah.
I may have.
I went first.
Yeah, let me
First.
live.
Oh, okay. Maybe I was just spacing out.
No. It's okay.
What's your next question, Mike?
Okay, so I kind of want to go back to the coaching point that you guys were just making. Like I was saying, it seems kind of like low-hanging fruit to be like, Randy Whitman, he obviously isn't doing the greatest job with things right now, but the replacements, who are they? What would you look for in a coach? Would you look for an offensive improvement, or would you want that defensive continuity that they have right now? Like, what type of team would you hope that the next coach, if there is a next coach, would build?
I don't think their defensive concepts are too complicated. It's a pretty classic conservative defense. So I feel like that their personnel will help them keep that continuity anyway, as long as they don't have too much of a roster turnover. Um, and as far as what I would want from a coach, I'd probably want an offensive-minded guy, just because I think the personnel will make up for any defensive deficiencies the coach might have. Plus, you can also help that with assistance stuff, like, for example, keeping Don Newman, uh, who's been the defensive guy here for the most part.
Kelly, Jake,
I
Albert.
just want Jake to talk.
Yeah, you're the boss, man.
Uh,
Yeah. I'll give you 1 sec.
Jake, don't
I
be
gotta-
shy.
I'm not. One thing.
You're also
That's
frozen
right.
in a pensive thought, so it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm about a block away from after that. Be in a more internet. So, does anyone else want to take a stab at?
I guess I don't really know that much about coaching either. It's just kind of like what I said, comparing it to what I've seen in the past teams. I don't know. It's hard because I don't really have any good experience with that, I guess. Obviously, someone that's more offensively minded and knows how to use your weapons better. And more of like, I really honestly don't know what Randy Whitman's like, but like I've said this 6 times, but I obviously compare him to coaches in my past teams, and I just see like seeing him in these post-game pressers and seeing him in his post-game quotes, it just doesn't seem like he's the kind of guy that motivates a team correctly or maybe to the best of his ability. I just sometimes see his post-game quotes and I'm like, why did you say that? Like, where were you? Like, I mean, we've seen that picture of John Wall drawing up the play in that, whatever that fourth quarter of that game was. It's just kind of like, where's your coach at that time? Like, it's great that a 24-year-old star can be the leader of a team. That's amazing, but should it's unfair to John that he has to carry the team like that so much. And obviously you've seen that with LeBron, but it's different since him and John are different players. And I don't know. I've just seen a lot of things that make me question Randy Whitman, and I would, if he were the coach of the Heat, I would have a meltdown. So, but that's just what I have to say.
Jake?
Yeah, I think if you go a different direction, you really just need to break off entirely from what you've done, because with Whitman, you never really fully broke off from the Flip Saunders era.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Wall's kind of always been in this flip tunnel. And, it's kind of the same dynamic you have with Curry. He just has always been guided down one path, and then you expose him to something completely different, and you open up and you see parts of his game that you never saw before. And so I think, if you go that different direction, don't be chained to what you've done in the past. Be free.
Yeah.
Go nuts. And I'll just throw it out there because I want to sabotage the Bulls. Fred Hoiberg, still my dude. I just think he gets analytically where things are going, and it's one thing to just understand, threes are better than twos, but you can design your offense to take advantage of that, and that's what separates a team like the Rockets, who just fire like there's no tomorrow, and other teams that are just like, oh yeah, we should probably do that, but we just don't.
That could define the Wizards season, I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's a better option.
that talking point has been
That's the
repeated.
talking point.
That's been a talking point. Let me say that much. Yep.
Okay, so the playoffs, like we said, we kind of deviated a little bit from, well, a lot from the playoff talk. So I kind of want to ask you guys because it upset me a little bit that Wall didn't play on I guess yeah it was Friday and he didn't play against the Nets, but then he played on Sunday against the Hawks in what really could be a pretty meaningless game. At the end of the day. I thought that if he would play, it would be on Friday when they did have a chance to catch the Raptors and the Bulls for a 4 seed, maybe even a 3 seed. I think the 3 seed was a long shot, but I think it was still in play. So do you think it was a smart idea to rest Wall on Friday and then play him on Sunday, or would you just leave him out for the rest of the season, or would you just have let him play for the rest of the year?
I think the mindset of the team is basically that we will. Well, first of all, Wall apparently made the decision himself, but the coaching staff probably has the power to veto him on that stuff. So they clearly were okay with it, and I think their mindset was we care about Wall's health and keeping him fresh for the playoffs more than we care about home court advantage, which makes sense. But at the same time, it would have been nice to just get one more win to capture the Bulls for home court just one more time.
Mitch,
Hey.
welcome to the
Hey.
chaos.
It's a dream, just me and all these men.
Lord.
Yeah.
So continuing on my point, I think that it would have been nice to have another win, but I understood their mindset in that game, and I also think Wall just thought he didn't want to ruin the team's chemistry from the other night, shooting 65%. I feel like that was kind of a factor for him. That just tends to be like sometimes players feel that you don't want to mess up what's working, so he just felt like maybe I'll just sit out one more game, just to give the team a bit more confidence, the supporting cast more confidence or something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I feel like since it was the last home game, that seems like that makes like a little more, like a little sense on Sunday.
Yeah,
Jake,
you
I
can't
know
really
you-
have fan appreciation
Yeah.
Go ahead.
day without John Wall. It's kind of like a,
Dinner without wine.
That's why
Yeah.
people come to watch the Wizards.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it's, maybe competitively it's not 100% the best basketball move, but I mean,
Wow, that was good, Jake.
other than like the Spurs, I mean, they're probably the only ones cold-hearted enough to like rest everybody on fan appreciation night. It's just
They won the title.
right.
Ew,
but
enough.
cold game, man, cold game.
Soon.
Jake, I know you kind of had a problem with Wall making his own decision to sit that day, didn't you? Or you thought it was just weird, right?
Well, I don't get. Well, let me rephrase it. I don't like how the team empowers the stars to make every decision.
Yeah.
It feels like, and it's not just been a problem during the Wall era. It goes back to the Gilbert era, and it's just like at a certain point, I feel like you can't just coddle your superstar with every decision. Coaches and executives are there to not just enable them down their own path. Sometimes you got to correct their course. I mean, at the end of the day, I still think the way they managed resting Wall was the right way. It's just I didn't like the process.
Yeah. Well, it goes to him holding the board and drawing up a play in the fourth quarter. He just kind of gave you that power.
That was a well-drawn pizza, though.
That was what?
Never mind. Long joke.
Is this a guy thing?
No, there
No.
was a Photoshop Records and Radio did of the pizza being drawn over the board while it was drawing on. It's. I'll pull it up later.
That's all they were doing. They weren't drawing plays. They were just making Domino's orders for later.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Or Chipotle orders. I mean, we're not sure.
All right,
Never
Hillary
know.
Clinton.
gotta be on top of it.
What? Yeah. What else, Mike?
Oh, we're moving on from this question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm the captain
That's
now.
Okay. You have to do it like the meme. Yeah.
I'm the captain now.
Okay.
Oh God. Never mind.
So Whitman, he outcoached Tibbs last year in the playoffs. Would you say that? Would you say that's fair? Would everyone say that's fair? Can we agree?
I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it was a combination of that and just
No
the
Derrick
Wizards
Rose.
playing. Yeah, well, no Derrick Rose, and the Wizards just playing like harder, like out bullsing the Bulls, if that's a thing.
Yeah.
Like just
Yeah.
playing tough basketball better than the Bulls did.
Also, Noah was hurt in that series, I think, so that also probably had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Right, and Whitman was playing just, like Mitch was saying, the full deck. Tibbs said, was like, all right, let's try Noah. Well, that won't work. Let's try Augustine. Okay, that won't work. Dunleavy? No.
Yeah, they had,
and then game 5 was literally, and that's why it was 74-69.
Ugh,
Isn't that the Nene headbutt game?
No, that was game 2. No, that was game 3. I went to that game. I remember that. That was
Oh
hilarious.
yeah, we were there.
Yeah, we were both there. I remember that.
Yeah, that was great. That was
The
great.
one game I went to, the Wizards were winning by like 20 against the Pacers, and then they lost.
Oh, that was
Oh.
That was the Mom's Day game on Game 3, I believe, right?
Or maybe it was game 4.
Or was it, yeah, it was either Game 3 or Game 4.
Yeah. I was like, wait, I messed up. I shouldn't have gone.
I remember that was the game when at least some of us met Prada that day.
Oh.
Yeah, he was there.
I just know all I wanted was Wizards Heat, and then, yeah.
Yeah, that one game kind of quelled all of any hope.
Oh yeah, I went to one of the games where they lost by like 30. I to the
Oh, man.
Pacers. That where they scored like 66 points.
I
Oh
hate the Pacers.
God, that was ugly.
But Lance Stevenson, love that guy.
Wait, how
Lance, DNP,
how
Steven.
does that work?
What?
How do you hate the Pacers?
Oh my God, I'm kidding. I hate Lance Stevenson.
Oh, okay, all right.
I mean, I'll tweet the meme of him blowing in the ear forever, but like I hate him.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
thank God,
sorry.
thank God. I was about to question something.
Sorry about that, ADD. Carry on.
Okay, so how confident are you all in Whitman this time around? Like, do you think if he gets that same coaching matchup, do you think he comes out on top again? If he coaches against Dwayne Casey, do you think he comes out on top?
I think Witt is kind of. I think he's kind of got an edge over Tibbs just because Tibbs is really stubborn, almost more stubborn than him, because he. A lot of the things that the Bulls like to do are things that the Wizards are good at preventing, so they love to post up Powell. And Nene is just really solid post defender, so is Gortat. They love to sometimes, like the Wizards, fall in love with long twos, though they've been better with that this year. The one thing that's changed, though, is they've been giving more minutes to Mirotic, and none of the Wizards' bigs can basically guard him. So I'm interested to see how he deals with that. As for Dwayne Casey, the Raptors play a lot of interesting combinations offensively, and that always seems to give the Wizards issues. Everyone always seems to be on fire on that team every time they play us, so that's also something to keep in mind. But they don't really have a good defense, so I think the Wizards actually have more of a chance than one would think in that series, and I'm not as worried about that matchup as years past, just because the Raptors have just not been the same team for months on end right now. So
Jay, Kelly, Mitch, Albert.
I don't know. I feel like I've talked so much.
Yeah, I
Like all the
mean,
dates I go on, I can't do it anymore.
I feel like if the Wizards were to beat the Bulls or the Raptors, it wouldn't be necessarily because Whitman outcoached somebody.
Mm.
I think it might just be like other factors, like John Wall just doing John Wall things, or like whatever the case is. I just don't think like this year it'll come down to. I mean, against the Bulls, I think like it's more common, just because like you guys said, like Tibbs is really stubborn, like even more so than Whitman. But I think that in terms of just like if it comes down to winning a series, I don't think the who outcoaches who is going to play as big a factor as everything else.
But
Yeah.
Whitman still has the one ace up his sleeve with Pierce at the 4.
True.
yes,
And it's like if he uses that, then he looks like a genius. And he can just be like, well, I was saving him for the playoffs, because you don't want to throw a 37-year-old undersized power forward out there for 80 games. But then, whether you're facing the Bulls, you've got someone that can guard Mirotic. And if it's the Raptors, you've got someone from Patterson. And if he does that, then suddenly, everything's coming up Whitman again. And, and that's where, sometimes we kind of get so here and now that sometimes, I'm playing devil's advocate here, but yeah, Whitman might have the long game in mind here.
Yeah, I think definitely, especially if he plays Pierce at the 4 win against the Bulls, like with Mirotic, like I think that would be the perfect situation to pull that ace out of his sleeve, as you say. I think that's a good matchup for the Wizards, Pierce guarding Mirotic, because I don't think any other of the big men that play the 4 can do it. But yeah, definitely, like if Whitman pulls that out and wins that, ends up paying off for them, then definitely he's going to get the credit for doing that.
I think the ace is like I'm not sure that he was. I don't know how to phrase this. I think he kind of uses that in desperation, just because for
He's
an
desperate.
offensive. Yeah, just because he's desperate. I'm not exactly sure if that's a thing that he has in mind. Just because he's never been like that. He's always put a mandate on size. He always plays Nene and Gortat together. But obviously, when playoffs come around, and the fact that Wall himself has been complaining about the fact that the Wizards can't guard stretch fours, I feel like he'd be more flexible in that time. And also playoffs, I think, if it makes sense, I think the Wizards are more suited for the playoffs than they are the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they have the size to deal with a long, slow-paced game, and they also have the athletes on the perimeter to attack closeouts and all that stuff. So I feel like they're more suited for the playoffs, also because they're very top-heavy. Their top 6 players are probably the guys that top 6 or 7 players are the guys that are really the above-average guys that can really put pressure on a defense and play well on the other end as well. So those guys will probably play 35 to 40 minutes a game, and that'll be helpful. So I think the Wizards will look a lot different come playoff time, and I think they will be. A lot of the concerns that we had during the season will be kind of mitigated just by the nature of the playoffs. So
Yeah.
I kind of went off a tangent there, but that's.
No, I definitely agree, though, and I think, especially with Nene at the 5, because he basically can absorb what would have been Seraphin's minutes in the regular season. And, Nene isn't a big fan of playing a lot of minutes at center, but when you stick him there for, 10, 12 minutes to spell Gortat, you've got a capable backup center in that role.
Fair enough. So I guess since it's we're pushing 11 o'clock here, I don't know when you guys wanted to wrap up, but
I have a
which
10:30 bedtime, so we're
oh
special.
look, see
We're past that.
we're
That ship's
way over
sailed.
time. But just to wrap up, which matchup do you all prefer? The Raptors or the Bulls?
Ooh.
I think I'm more comfortable with the Bulls because even though like they have new guys on the roster, like last year they didn't have Powell and last year they didn't have Mirotic and maybe Rose is healthy for this year's playoffs. Like there's just like a sense of familiarity, like they've done it before, so like they can do it again. But I feel like the Raptors at this point might be, I guess, the easier matchup per se. Like it's the playoffs, like it's not really going to be easy either way you cut it. But I don't know. I think like if I had to pick one, it would probably be like I'd rather face the Bulls just because it's the Bulls and like that series is going to be a lot of fun either way.
I'd pick the. It's a tough decision for me, but I guess I'm just gonna go the regular season route and say that because the Raptors swept the Wizards, even though the last two games were actually really close and could have gone either way. I would pick the Bulls because again what Mitch said, the familiarity factor, just because they've done it before. They know how to deal with what the Bulls throw at them. Obviously, the Bulls have some new pieces and some new factors to throw out there, so it's not gonna be as lopsided as the series as it was last year. But I definitely think the Wizards are more confident playing the Bulls, and I just think the Raptors, given how well they've played against the Wizards in the past, they have the psychological advantage as well as the tactical advantages over them. So I think the Bulls would probably be a better matchup, even though I do think I wouldn't be mad at the Raptors matchup just because I think that it's not as scary as it was a couple of months ago.
For me, I'm going to also go with the Bulls. I'm just going to leave it pretty short. It's not just about familiarity. It's also about building rivalries. Each of the Wizards' last two playoff series victories came against the Chicago Bulls. They beat the Bulls last year in 5 games, and it was in pretty epic fashion. Nobody expected the Wizards to do what they did. And of course, 10 years ago, the Wizards beat the Bulls in 6 games, albeit this was during the Gilbert days, and he shot that game winner. I think it was it Game 5 where he made that shot?
Yep.
Okay,
Game
so
5?
Game 5.
Yeah.
He made the game winner, and that gave him the momentum to win the series in Game 6. So I know right now Wizards fans in general, I think you always want to create rivalries with, the team that's at the top of the conference. A team like the Cavaliers, obviously, with the 3 straight years playoff series against LeBron James. But I do think the Bulls, yuck, that is more of the rival for the Wizards. It's not because that they're any better than the Cavaliers or not, but this is a team where we faced them multiple times in the postseason. We've had a lot of good matchups in the regular season. You had a little spat in the preseason with Pierce poking Joakim Noah in the head. So I want to see that series a little bit more than the Raptors. So that's where I come from.
Kelly, Jake.
Sounds like someone's in like a pool. Very like watery. I agree with all those, and I just trust John Wall over Derrick Rose, and I want to see that in the playoffs, and I think that's what we all deserve.
All right,
Derrick Rose.
All right, so are we ready for the hot take?
Oh God.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
I want the Raptors. I want the Raptors.
All right.
Okay, one.
Drake.
The Bulls that we're facing this year are not the same ones that we faced last year. They can stretch the floor more. They've got Derrick Rose. And I think in general, they're playing better ball right now than the Raptors. although the Bulls did lose to the Magic, so what do I know? But I think you got that. I think two, while the rivalry aspect is nice, that cuts both ways. Right now, the Wizards are the chippy underdogs against the Raptors, whereas the Raptors might think they own the Wizards. The Wizards have been right there the last 2 games, whereas it's kind of been the other way around with Wizards Bulls. The Wizards have owned most of the games lately, but the Bulls have been right there. And I think the playoffs has a way of tides turning. And plus, when you get to the playoffs, jokes are important, and you gotta I got Drake jokes for days.
Oh.
So
Oh boy.
Have you ever listened to one song front to back of Drake?
He looks like a front runner from the pics I'm seeing. He likes DeMarcus Cousins, likes Kobe, likes LeBron. What about his own team? Where's Kyle Lowry?
Good
He
stuff.
posts photos with Kyle Lowry all the time on his Instagram.
Yeah, that's true.
He's
I don't
contractually
think he likes
obligated
Kyle
to.
Lowry.
Yep.
Let him.
Just throwing it out there. So bring on the Raptors.
Are
Wale
we done
versus
with all
Drake.
of our hot takes?
I'm out. The hot take cannon is empty now.
Everything's just covered in flame right now. Just burning.
I love the smell of hot takes in the evening.
Deion Waiters was 4 of 21 tonight, in case you wanted to
Nice.
know.
Oh,
That's great.
men lie, women lie, buckets don't.
Poor guy.
Is Deion Waiters in the D League next year?
He's beyond that.
He'd be
Bring him
pretty
in.
Oklahoma City
He'll
Blue,
be on the
if you know what I
team
mean.
next year.
I think he's Jordan Crawford status right now. Just gonna go to
He's
China.
gonna have to
Maybe,
take
yeah.
that overseas route.
Yeah.
Then come back and go into the D League.
Though his draft status might save him because teams are weird like that in the NBA. They seem to just keep giving guys who are drafted high chances until they just
Play him out.
until they
He'll
play
somehow end
out.
up on the Heat
Yeah.
and be like 6th man of the year next year.
Be like Hassan Whiteside, who is the GOAT.
Yeah. I can see Waiters either doing that or like taking 30 shots a game for the 76ers next year.
Oh god.
Wait, okay, has anyone seen the 76ers payroll? I know this is completely irrelevant.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Has anyone seen it? There's like 29 people on there.
No, I haven't seen it.
Just wanted to point that out.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Oh god.
It's like
No one is
all-time-
making
all-time-
making under like $5 million, which is just it's glorious.
Sad. Poor team.
Yeah.
I think they'll be in good shape in a couple seasons. And they played better than what most people thought they were, so I'll hold my hat to them for that. Apparently they still have JaVale McGee on the books for next year, even though I think they let him go.
Yeah, he's still on the books. I'm on Hoops Hype right now, and they have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good news is they don't have Jason Richardson on the books next year.
I
next
do
year-
love Thomas Robinson, though. Maybe he can come to the Heat. Or the
You
Wizards.
should just come home. Just come home.
That too.
T-Rob to DC.
Just take
I'm starting
just take Kevin Seraphin's minutes and everything will be okay.
There are
Yeah.
very few Kansas players I'll like in this world, and Thomas Robinson is my number 2.
Who's
And number one's Paul Pierce.
No, number 1's Mario Chalmers. Duh.
Oh, yeah. The Miami Heat part.
Yeah, I don't even.
You can't ever argue with me because I'm always right.
Okay.
It's really hard to win an argument with Mario Chalmers. Really hard. But this might be the one.
He's only in the NBA because he hit one shot. That's all I'm gonna say.
He had a really good game against
Wow.
Pause. He had a very good game in Game 5 against Oklahoma City in the finals 2 years ago.
I
Very
remember
good.
that.
Not hearing this right now.
And then almost got replaced by Norris Cole. And LeBron lobbied for Shabazz Napier to replace him.
Okay, let us live. Pat Riley has a plan.
I like Mario Chalmers, man. I think he's all right. I don't think he's as bad as people say he is. I think he's a very decent. He's an average NBA guard, or he's an NBA player. That's what I could.
Okay, I'll take that.
He's a rotation NBA player.
He's just special. After watching him for all these years, like, oh.
He's good when he doesn't have to do point guard things.
Yeah.
Point guard.
That's totally fair.
I really do. Like,
What?
if he would be great next to James Harden.
Yes, I agree with that. He's perfect for that kind of role.
But,
All right. Sorry, I made this all about me.
Yeah, I mean, it was clearly going to go that way at some point.
Woo!
That's so rude.
I'm sorry.
I'll take it. I mean, you're just jealous
I'm totally jealous, 100%.
of my sweater. Of my sweater.
Worse.
That's a
Yeah.
good sweater.
Don't ask questions.
That is a good sweater.
Yeah, it's a Drake song, Jake.
That's really cool. Drake,
I have a few. Okay. Whatever.
Drake has songs.
What?
He seems to like John Wall. That's nice.
But is he going to bring Kevin Durant to the Wizards?
No, Wally's going to
No.
do that.
Go Wale.
Wale's not going to do that.
I really don't think Kevin Durant's gonna come to the Wizards. Sorry, Jake. Don't
Right.
God.
To quote Wale, it will be the chase about nothing.
You know what site you write for?
I'm just saying. I watched that Revolt TV interview. I kind of teared up at it, and I just don't think he's gonna leave Oklahoma
Yeah, it was
State.
great. It was
I
great.
love the journalists that interviewed him. Like literally, great questions.
It was
Yeah, I agree with you though.
You do?
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ha.
I'm not going to agree just off of principle, but you know.
There's a take that's too hot right now that I can't do.
It's fair.
I'll remember this. I'll remember this for a while.
No. You're all valuable contributors to this site, so I can't say it. I can't drive it away.
Take's too hot for Google Hangouts.
It's a test show. We can't. But LeBron also gave good interviews last year.
I knew it would go that way.
But no. Seriously though, KD does seem invested in OKC. Honestly, like we have fun with it, but things in Oklahoma City would have to go so bad next year. So bad.
I mean, they could very well.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like,
They're probably
like if they're,
in the lottery this year, right?
yeah.
I mean, if Scott
Well,
Brooks keeps dressing like he shops at, never mind.
But,
Oh,
but honestly, it would only take one bad report, like Westbrook's thinking about going to the Lakers, and then Durant's like, well, I'm not sticking around for this, but that's your long shot, and that's all you got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that like if one leaves, like they're both out. I just don't see a scenario where like one would stay and like the other one would leave. I don't know.
I mean, who doesn't want to play with Enes Kanter for the next 5 years? And, you know,
yeah, of course.
Oh,
Enes Kanter and Jeremy Lamb
He
and
had a lot of points tonight. Hold on.
he also probably gave up as many, but
he's so terrible at defense.
He had with 25 and 11. So there you go.
yeah, he's most empty stats since Chris Kaman.
Oh,
Wow.
I'm sorry.
wow.
I have to
Shots
say
So
fired.
many shots fired in this conversation.
That hurts.
Shots fired. I mean, come on, guys. We're better than this.
I'm sorry. I'm
So
sorry.
violent.
I've gotten most of the shots.
Kanto wanted to play for the Wizards like a couple of years ago, so there's that. So maybe he's got that going for him.
Well, you
we're
know,
talking-
he isn't he a free agent this year? I mean,
Restricted.
we can't really do
All right.
anything with that.
Guys,
But
I really actually do have to go to bed. I have to wake up at 6.
Wow.
oh wow, okay.
That same here. So
I don't get to start. I don't start work until like after 10, but then again, I end work pretty late too. So goes
Yeah, I don't have class till 2, so
9:30 class. Woohoo.
Woo, school.
Well, I have work at 6 a.m., so
yeah, so us adults have to get out of here. So
Yeah. Sorry.
I need to do adult things.
Yeah.
Did you guys like my tweet?
Yes.
Yes, we did. I
haven't
think I
seen it.
retweeted
I had to make sure I was smiling in it, but I didn't look like I was smiling in it.
it.
I mean, I don't care if you guys look bad, but
Oh.
I need to look good.
I mean, I look like the Verizon.
You have a
Center
brand to
Jumbotron.
Everyone looks beautiful.
Well,
Models. Can I leave the chat without kicking you guys out?
I think you. I think
Yeah.
should be good.
Are you going to miss me?
Yes, we will.
Yes, definitely.
yeah.
So reassuring.
Thank you,
All right.
Kelly.
Have fun.
We
I'm
appreciate
going to bed.
Yes.
I'll
Go
chat
be
you guys
good night.
soon. Bye.
All right.
All right, guys. This